So I want to start the conversation by saying that I'm making this video only because I want to try to help the ones of you that don't know, that don't truly know if they want to become designers, or perhaps the ones of you that already know that they want to become designers but they haven't figured out if they want to go to design school or if they want to become self-taught creatives. And I want to talk a little bit about my past because you might resonate with it and with my story and with my background, and it might become much easier for you to make a decision on the way to go. I studied code development for 5 extremely long years, and actually at the beginning I thought that was the path for me because I've always been the guy that wanted to be surrounded by technology, by phones, computers, but down the road I found myself doing something that was the opposite of what I wanted to do. Too many constraints, too many rules, too restricted, but it was too late. I've always been a really creative mind and a really practical person. In fact, I hate anything that is theoretical and anything that needs to be studied. It was really tough for me and I wanted to finish school as soon as possible to discover a new path for myself, new jobs, things completely different from what I already knew. And I was willing to lose myself to find something that I really loved. Finally, the last school year comes, and during one of the last lessons, I was looking at my phone, something that you shouldn't do, but we're gonna pass on that. And when I was scrolling through the Instagram feed, and more specifically through the search page on Instagram, I found this one post from a very famous designer, which I don't remember the name, so I'm really sorry. And I was extremely intrigued by this single design, and that sparked a lot of interest in my brain. I've downloaded the first design software that I found on the internet, and I've tried, at least I've tried, to recreate the design from scratch with what I had. At the beginning I didn't know anything about design, so the fonts were different, the colors were different, basically everything was different, but at least I tried. My main scope wasn't to replicate the design pixel by pixel, but it was the opposite. It was to try to understand the process behind the design and what the designer might have thought when he was placing the content in the canvas. What can be better than that? Because it was a creative job, it was something with technology, I had to stay to my computer. It was perfect. And yes, since that day my journey was a little bit unusual, and let me explain you why. When I was starting out, of course I didn't know anything about design, but on the other side I also didn't want to study anything about theory, so what could have gone wrong? And for a very long time I've created designs without actually knowing what I was doing, and from this perspective I can honestly say that I was pretty good and lucky because I was able to place content in a really visually appealing way. So I've never created extremely bad designs. But because I knew that I had to learn lots of new things and I knew that I had to invest a lot of money in my education, buying books, courses, etc., I've decided to take a full-time job as a full-stack developer, so something that I hated doing. But on the flip side, I knew that I needed to make this compromise in order to invest in myself and in my education. And I can tell you guys that it was a huge pain in the ass. Don't get me wrong, that job was a freaking blessing because if it wasn't for that, I wasn't able to buy most of the things that I have right now, and if it wasn't for that job, I wouldn't have been here. But as you can imagine, it was a pain because it wasn't something that I wanted to do, but I kept it for the opportunities that job could have brought me. By the way, during that time where I knew nothing about design and I was working as a full-time employee in this agency, I still wanted to publish my work on the web, on social media, just to get some feedback, and I wanted to know what other designers thought about my creative works. And it went exceptionally well. I found a lot of people that supported me under my posts and my designs, that DM'd me, so personal messages, just to make compliments, and my designs got criticized quite a lot. And you might ask, why is it a good thing? Getting criticized is the best thing that you can get if you want to improve, and if you want to improve really fast, because improving in life or as a creative is basically spotting the mistakes and the areas, the things that you need to improve and just work on them. And if you get criticized, you have 50% of the work done because you already have the things that you need to improve on the plate. You don't need to spot them. If you're not publishing your works online or on social media just because you're scared and afraid that all your designs are going to be criticized a lot, you're missing the biggest opportunity for yourself to exponentially grow. Create, publish, get feedback, improve, and repeat. 5 simple steps that will give you the best results. Again, create, publish, get feedback, improve, and repeat. Take me as an example, I got criticized a lot, my designs got criticized a lot, but I kept publishing because I knew that that was the fastest and easiest way to improve my design skills and my designs. And another beautiful thing that happened to me by publishing a lot of works on social media was that I gained a lot of clients. And that was the moment where I've got a lot of problems because still to that moment I wasn't knowing anything about what I was doing, funny enough. Plus I had to work with a client, so I had to communicate my vision, my design vision to an expert in the field, and I didn't know the technical language and the vocabularies, and I couldn't explain my vision for the project to the client, so I had some big troubles and the project didn't actually go well. And if you're starting out and you want to get your first client, make sure that before you get the gig, you know how to speak the design language. So technical terminologies, technical vocabularies. The first thing that you need to master to become a real professional is the ability to explain your project vision to a person that doesn't know anything about design. And I've easily learned that by watching hundreds of hours of free YouTube videos just to make sure that I was learning all the technical terminologies specific to the design world. I bought books to learn new design principles while still learning new terminologies, and I bought Words courses on the Words platform, which, by the way, I highly recommend you to do so because they're super valuable, professional, and super cheap for the value that they provide. But that was basically it, and there is nothing crazy. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to learn how to speak the design language or to know the technical side of things in the design space. You just need to spend the right amount of money and in the right places to learn and to develop your skills and yourself. And by the way, going a little bit back, if you keep publishing your works on social media while at the same time you keep learning new design concepts, design principles and terminologies, you can really see an exponential growth and really big results in a really small amount of time. This is my simple story, friends. I didn't have a crazy life. I'm not a crazy person, but this journey brought me here, talking with you and enjoying some time with you, teaching you all the principles that I know, and I'm still learning a lot of new stuff every single day. That's what I want to do in the future. So I hope that this video might help someone, might inspire someone, and if you liked it, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to learn new design principles and new design techniques, and I see you in the next video.